Hello! Today I'm going to be showing you how you can clone your Shopify blogs, blog posts and their comments to one Shopify store from another Shopify store using the Matrixify app. So let's get started. Now we first need to start off in the Shopify store that we're going to be exporting our blog posts from. So as we can see here, I'm in my Shopify store that I'm going to be exporting my blog post from, and I have 3 blog posts in my store, which would be supporting local beekeepers, the sweet science of honey, nature's liquid gold, and honey in the kitchen. Now you can also see that these blog posts have their own blogs as well, which will also be migrated in the process. And of course, the title, content, images, excerpts, author, tags, theme template, SEO data will also be migrated, as well as comments if your blog posts have any comments. So as the next step, we then need to head to the Matrixify app in the store that we're going to be exporting from. So I'll go ahead and do that now by heading to the Matrixify app here on the left-hand side of the page, and that will then bring us to the Matrixify app's homepage. Once on the Matrixify app homepage, we then need to press New Export. This will then bring you to a new export page where we can then select what we would like to export. Now first looking at the format of the export. Now if not exporting a large amount of data which would be over the Excel limits, then we do recommend exporting in the Excel format. If the data is over the Excel limits when you export, the Matrixify will automatically convert it to the CSV format. Here you can see I already have blog posts selected to be exported. However, if in your case you do not already have this selected, then in the Select Sheets drop down here, you can then select which entity you would like to export, and in our case that would be blog posts, so go ahead and check the blog posts checkbox here. Once selected, you'll then be able to see the blog post entity pop up here, and then click to open it, and here you'll be able to select different column groups to be exported. Now, as we're cloning our blog posts, blogs and comments, we are going to be selecting all of these column groups. However, in your case, that doesn't mean you must do the same. You can also select which specific data you would like to export, and you can do so by clicking at the drop down for each column group. And here you'll then be able to see which columns you can then export or not export if you would like to not migrate that data. However, in my case, I would like everything cloned and migrated, so I'm going to leave all of these checkboxes checked. And then moving on to filters, we also offer filters for this export to export only specific blog posts. In my case, I would like to export everything to then be able to import everything to my other store. However, if in your case you would only like to migrate specific blog posts, then you can filter the export using the filters that we provide. I will also leave a link in the description of this video to our blog post documentation, which contains not only information about each column and their values in our blog post export, it also provides a list of filters that you can use for export as well and what their values should be. Then moving on to options, we don't need to change any of these options. The default ones will work fine and just as we need them to. And if all looks good and as it should, we can then press export. And once exported, then click download exported file to download the exported file so we can then import it into our new store. Here I am in the new store I would like to be importing my blog posts into. To mention, you can make any edits you would like in the exported file itself to your blog posts. That's completely up to you. But in this case, as I would like an exact clone of my blog post in my previous store, I've not made any changes to the data in the exported file, but just so you know, this is something that you can do if you would like to. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my exported file from my previous store and import it into this store. To do so, press Add File in the Import section here, select the file that we've just exported and press Open. You'll then be able to see the app uploading the file, and once uploaded, you'll then be able to see that Matrixify has correctly identified that we are importing blog posts and that our file contains 3 blog posts. In your case, it may be more or less depending on your data itself. However, in my case, I do have 3 blog posts, so the total is 3. You may be also able to see an export summary sheet. This is nothing to worry about. This is just exported by default when you export with the Matrixify app. When importing it, it truly makes no difference. The sheet is ignored anyway. And as you can see here, yes, it is ignored. And that really would be it. We can then go ahead and press import to import our blog posts. You'll then see your blog post importing. And we have now successfully migrated our blog post from one store to another. And you can then check this by going to Content, Blog Posts. And here you can now see the exact same blog post that I had in my previous store, now in my new store as well. And it truly is as simple as that. That is how you can clone your Shopify blogs, blog posts, and their comments from one Shopify store to another Shopify store using the Matrixify app. Now, we also offer a great written tutorial on how to do this as well, and it will walk you through the same steps I've just gone through in the video, but in written format. I will also leave a link in the description of this video to this tutorial as well, so you can easily get to it if you prefer following a written tutorial over a video tutorial. And if you have any questions, queries, or concerns at all, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We are always more than happy to help. Now, you can contact us in 3 ways. You can contact us either via Slack, via email, or via our in-app chat or website chat. It's completely up to you. On Slack, we have MyBar, our AI assistant, that will jump in to help immediately, and if needed, our support team will also join to help. We also have MyBar as well for email, but our support team will also always answer you within 25 hours. And then lastly, we have MyBar in our in-app chat, which is a little speech bubble here that we have in our app or also on the website here itself. And MyBar will always be ready to help and answer any questions that you may have and start a new conversation. Just click new conversation, and as we can see here, MyBar is already ready to answer any questions that you have. That would be it from me today, though. That is how you can clone your Shopify blogs, blog posts, and their comments from one Shopify store to another Shopify store using the Matrixify app.